Oh, yes, yeah.
Carl's had both
Yep.
dips replaced.
I have
Showtime,
as well.
All right.
Showtime.
Okay.
Good evening, and welcome to the Trophy Club Crime Control Prevention District Board meeting for April 29th, 2026. I hereby call this meeting to order at 6 p.m. At this time, I will note the members present and confirm that we have a quorum. We do? Maggie, do we have anyone signed up to speak this evening?
We do not.
Okay. Thank you, Maggie. Seeing no speakers, we'll move on to the next item. Item number 1 is approval of minutes. Item 1 is to take appropriate action regarding the CCPD board meeting minutes from March 18th, 2026. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Got a motion? Do I have a second?
Second?
If there's no further discussion, we'll proceed to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, say nay. 0 nay. Item 2, discuss the FY 2026-2027 CCPD budget apportionment for the crime control prevention programs. Chief Arata.
Board, thank you. Tonight, we're going to talk about the budget for next year. So we're going to go through some items and stuff. So let me put up the actual budget projection. So tonight, with me also is April Duvall, our finance director, is here to help any questions I can't answer related to the numbers and how some of this stuff works. But tonight, the Trophy Club Police Department remains committed to public safety and investing in strong programs, effective training, and advanced technology. Our goal is ensure officers are well-equipped and serve and protect our community. So the FY 26-27 CC budget will provide for that as an enhancement to our general fund budget. As you can see tonight, we're going to continue supporting the K-9 program, which we've done a great job with. We're going to continue into year 2 with the cadet program. The cadet program this year hasn't been used yet. We did go ahead and hire a cadet, but since we had multiple vacancies, she's being funded out of general fund to support that. But she has one more month left in the police academy as a recruit, and she graduates in June, and then we'll step right into an officer role, so she'll fill one of our vacancies. And then sometime in June, we're going to go ahead and hire another recruit to put in that position. They'll fall into this category and become funded through CCPD.
Will there be a formal ceremony for her when she comes
Yes.
on board?
Yep. So, yeah, later on, we'll have a council with the new officers. We have 3 vacancies, and we're filling those. So we have one starting on Monday, a retired officer from Fort Worth, lieutenant retired, wants to stay on the job, so he's going to come work for us. And then we have another one in the process, and then Melissa. So we're in pretty good shape right now. So we'll be full. Hopefully by the end of June, we should be full. And then with the overhire in an academy. So, and that's how this program works. So and let me take a second to talk about that. So you see it in the budget. Last year we had, this current year we have $114,000 obligated for that. And next year we're going to have $115,000. So that's not their salary. That's the total funding used to support an employee for the town. So there's their salary, their base salary. And since we're hiring a cadet, with the anticipation of carrying them throughout the whole year, portion of their year will be at cadet pay. And then when they graduate the police academy and pass the TCOL exam, they become a police officer. They'll jump to police officer basic pay. So that's why it jumps throughout the year. So, and then we'll carry it that way. So for the first 4 or 5 months, they're in cadet pay. The rest of the year, they'll be in police officer pay. So that's why this number looks the way it does. But it also includes all the town benefits. Town matching retirement fund, the insurance, health, life insurance, all the insurances that the town pays. And it also includes the maximum for those. You know, when you select the options for health insurance and life insurance and stuff, we budget for the maximum. And if the employee chooses a lesser level, that number may come down or go up. So So, but we budget for the max, not knowing what the employee's going to attempt, so that's why you see the numbers look the way they are. Marion, does that help? I know that was part of your question. So, as an example, medical insurance is about $17,000, is what the town pays for an employee. Not their portion, the town's portion. So you add that to the base pay of $75,000, adds up quick. And then you have retirement, about $10,000 on top of that. The matching retirement's 2 for 1, at 7%. So that's how we do our employees. So hopefully that covers that. And that's why you see these numbers listed under the employee portion, the personnel portion. And then we also have some built-in overtime. So if we have a special event or we use overtime, CCPD overtime money, we have some funded in here for that. This year, we went down from 25,000 to 15,000 because we've been holding that number fairly steady. I just reallocated some of that money down into some equipment and training. So, also next year, we had our CGIS audit this year, and one of the deficiencies was the security system for the building. So we're working with the town, and we're going to ask CCPD to help us get a new security system for the building, access control and alarm system for the building. So that's why I'm asking for $75,000 on top of that for this upcoming year. So you'll see that in the budget. So basically, we have a basic level security access control here for all of our doors and alarm system, where we need to upgrade that to a more advanced system. So that meets the CGIS compliance and a higher level of security.
And that's strictly for this side?
It'll actually be for both, but you'll be paying, CCPD will be paying just for the police department side. So, and it will integrate with our current camera system and everything and the latest technology.
So like what they use at the schools, where when you open the door, everybody knows you opened the door at 4:02.
That's it. That's exactly what it'll do, and it'll have cameras related to all the doors and everything else, so, yep. And we'll be able to use the same ID card in our police cars. So when the officer gets in the car, the technology you have there, he can zap it and the car knows he's there. He doesn't have to log in to the camera system and stuff, so. We're also gonna get some new software. CID has asked for some new software. There's some investigative software out there called Clearview. If you have a picture, it'll take that picture and search the internet for that same image and possibly help identify people. We've used it as a sample. The Fusion Center has allowed us to use their version. So we had some of our gas cards, one of our gas cards stolen, and we got an image from the gas station of the person using our card number. We got swiped, right? And we were able to identify that person and arrested them based off that technology. It told us who they were and how to find them. So it's pretty neat stuff. So the CID is asking for that. It's about $10,000 a year. So we're going to ask for that and do a year, see what that's like for us. Then you'll see in the budget summary, you'll talk about our sales tax revenue we hope to bring in next year. So as you saw this year, we anticipated about $425,000. Next year, it's an estimate of about $437,000 in sales tax. And that's the amount of money we would receive in sales tax. So we get there's a 2-cent sales tax. We get 1/4 of that, of 1 penny, is what funds the CCPD. So the town gets a full penny, stormwater gets a half of that penny, and then economic development gets another portion of that, and then we get 1 portion, 1/4 of that. So, so that's what you see here. So, did I miss something?
Amber Alert.
Oh, okay, thank you. Any questions on our estimated sales tax? And then we're going to jump down to the bottom of the page and look at our fund balance. Our fund balance is over 75%, getting close to almost 100%. And it'll even go up this year because we're not using 100% of the cadet pay. We may only use 1/4 of that funding if we hire somebody in June or July. So you're going to see a lot of that money roll back into the fund balance. So that's not exactly reflected here yet, but we're going to try to draw that down again. That's why we're asking for a little bit more than what we're taking in. So if you look at that, we are going to spend about over $100,000 over the estimated revenue, and that's where we're going to draw from our reserves. So we have a pretty healthy reserve, and every year we do end up adding more money back into it, so. But then again, we're going to take $75,000 for a new access control system, and then continue to fund the cadet, so.
So at some point, we'll have enough in there reserved to help
Well,
cover parking?
covered parking's already been funded.
It's already been funded.
Yes, we're working through that. We're hoping to get that built this year.
I'm glad.
So, yes, we've gotten some bids. We've had a little engineering hiccup. We're going back to the vendors to come back with some new numbers. But yes, that's already been approved by council, and we're just working through the funding part now. So, yeah, we're getting that done.
We need to get those $100,000 vehicles protected.
Yes, absolutely. And now they're up to 100,000. So, any questions on the revenue and fund balance and stuff? Okay, thank you. So, capital programs, the cars, that's our biggest thing. So this year, we're going to purchase 2 out of CCPD, and we've moved that number up to about $100,000 apiece. The car itself is about $65,000, and then about another $30,000, $40,000 worth of equipment we put in. The only equipment that we really transition over are the cameras, the radio, are the only 2 things that we bring forward. Everything else gets replaced. So,
Chief, where,
yes, sir.
is there a TCEVA car in there?
Yes, that's coming out of general fund.
General.
Yes, so general fund's the general fund, the town side is gonna fund a police car and a new Citizens on Patrol vehicle. So, yeah, so remember, our general fund covers the main operating budget for the police department. This is a supplement to help the police department. So this is above and beyond what the town would give us. So that's why this is a benefit to the police department. So, so then we move into our regular programs. As I've already talked about, is the overtime. Our professional outside services are items like Dr. Del Carmen, who helps us with our racial profiling. We're going to have him come in this year and do some advanced training on some issues for us with like racial profiling and bias amongst police stuff. We did that a couple of years ago. We're going to renew that training. That's what professional services, any legal fees, it helps us with our legal fees and stuff, working with the courts. Firearms, we did a big purchase in this current year with our firearms. We upgraded our firearms to the red dot system. This is just our basic firearms funding. We're dropping that back down from last year's funding, where we pay for qualifications, ammunition, new weapons, anything we need for our firearms type training qualifications. The protective gear, this is our ballistic vest. That number stays fairly consistent because we do get a grant from the state that matches us 50-50. So they pay us back 50% of what we pay for vest. They're a little behind on that number because the vests are going up faster than they're coming at reimbursement. So the vests are about $1,200 to $1,300. They're paying us, not half of that. So, but it's up there. So we're trying. Office supplies is basically what that means, is just supplementing our general fund budget to help out with some of the office supplies. And then, as we talked about, the police cadet position. Training went up. We're doing some advanced leadership training this year and in next. So for our management team, we have a young management team, so we want to get them up and running. We're doing really well with that so far. We're doing quarterly training to enhance their leadership skills. Yes, sir.
Is the training remote, on site?
It's both.
both.
We're doing online, we're doing in-house, we're bringing the professionals in to work with them, yep, and schools.
And that was another part of my question was, so you mentioned under the professional services having some training.
Right, that's a specialized training for racial profiling, yes.
In the,
Yep.
and,
Yeah.
and this would have consultants coming
Yeah.
in to do
Yeah.
training as well?
So I would pay the consultant out of the professional outside services,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and-
Seems low to me.
Yes.
That's why I'm questioning.
and we do a lot of online training, and that's what we pay for out of here too. So every officer has access to Police One and Lexipol, where there are a lot of online classes. So, yeah. And that's why we upped this number. This number was 25 last year, and we upped it pretty good, so.
It's not going to be as big a deal this year, but as soon as that stadium gets open at the high school, I can see our need for overtime
Yep.
to go
Yep.
up substantially.
And we're handling that on the general fund side. Yep, so. And we're doing a lot of planning and training for that today. So we're working with the school district and with Roanoke and Northlake to make sure that we have everything we need when those events take place. So, yep. So, a lot of things that we continue to support out of this program is our SRO program in schools, like you're talking about, Mark, and I appreciate you bringing that up. Continuing, so our small equipment budget, we upped that from 70 to 100. Last year it was 120,000, but we also had the drone in there. And let me talk about that. So last year, we approved to purchase 2 drones for the police department. We were looking at a $15,000 drone from Artel. When the U.S. government banned Chinese drones, that fell into that category. So we were left with only buying an American-made drone from an American-made company. And so we did that this year, but we only could afford one. So it's going to take us most probably another 4 months to get it.
How much?
It was 25,000. The original estimate was almost 40. So after the ban, it dropped to half. So we were able to get it. So we should get that in the next 3 to 4 months, and then we'll operate it and see how we're doing it. And if we need an extra one, another one, we'll come back to the board and ask for that. So we may ask for a budget amendment if we think we need a second. But we'll most probably operate it for a year before we do that, so we might roll that into the future budgets. So, great technology. I mean, it's just, something we're going to use, so. We're going into the year 4 of our flock camera program, which is it's a 5-year contract. We got it locked in pretty good. It's actually our 6th year of having the flock camera system. So, been fantastic. Our stats have dropped tremendously. And then on top of the flock camera, we added cameras to the whole town. So our crime stats have really dropped. I mean, that's why we're the #1 safest city in Texas. We've done really well last year. So we're going to continue that. So we pay $24,900 a year for our flock camera system. And we have 10 protecting the city. Only inbound, though, doesn't record outbound. The SRO Crime Stopper program and SRO funding, we use the money for that too, support that program. And at the next meeting, I'll have some stats on how that program is done. We've had a lot of good tips in the last year. I think you remember last year we had almost, I don't remember if it was 200 or 400 tips through the tip line, which was pretty good. So, and yeah, we still have another year before they start drawing down on the high school. Once the new high school is built over that 170 and 35, they'll start drawing down our school by a couple hundred kids. So over the next 3 years, we'll drop down about 400 to 500 kids. So we'll go back down closer to 2,900, under 3,000. Right now, we're at almost 3,500 kids at the school. So when the new high school's built, hopefully they'll move some of them over there. So I talked about the drone program. And the small equipment fund is where we purchase miscellaneous equipment that comes up through the year. We need a new police radar for our car, or a handheld radar, or something for that we just haven't had in a while. We go ahead and buy it out of that. Or like 2 years ago, we used it for the radar trailer. When the traffic study came up, we came back and asked, and we got the radar trailer out of that fund. So just the problem nowadays is everything is so expensive now. It used to be you could buy something for under $2,500. Now it's $3,500 or $4,000. So, any questions so far? I know I'm
One
moving.
question, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Is there ultimate goal for the drone training program to have the majority of the force qualified
Yep.
for that? Okay.
The plan today is to have 4 operators and a supervisor all trained, and have 1 on each shift. Yep. So the drone can be used anytime on any
Awesome.
shift.
Is it the same kind of technology we were talking about before?
Absolutely. Yep. It doesn't have the AI overlay as you saw on the AI, on the Artel, but it's close. It doesn't count vehicles in the parking lot like that drone did, but it has an AI overlay.
But
And they
it's
said that stuff is coming in the future, so we just have to wait a another year or so to get that, so. As you can tell, we've enhanced our micro-mobility program, we've enhanced our elderly take-back program, which is a big thing for this year. So our community service officer has been working, we got a new flyer out for the community take-back program, elderly take-back program. I'm not sure you remember that one. That's the one where we have people sign up if you have a elderly with dementia or a young kid with autism, anything you need where somebody may walk out of the house and get lost or something. We have an image of them. Give me a picture, all their information, keywords that they respond to show that we're friendly and to stop, and then we can identify them, take them right back home. So it's a really good program. We've got flyers out. We're dropping them off at the churches, at the businesses. Meals on Wheels is helping us get the word out to these people that may need that type of help. And the fire department has a similar type program, more medically related, but ours is the elderly take-back program. And you can go online and sign up your relatives or family. So it's a really good program. Those are some of the biggest things we have going on, to enhance our stuff. And the community safety program has just been fantastic with getting the word out, working with Jill's team on information out to the community on how we're doing and what we're doing. So this year, one of the council's initiatives is to get our information out, do a better job. We have a static display on our webpage today that says what our stats are. We're going to make that more interactive and update like monthly. So we're working on that right now with Director Lynn and her communications team. They're getting some new software that's going to help us do that. So that's working out well, and that's coming out of here too. So that's basically all I have for the budget workshop. So it's fairly consistent to what we did last year, where we are going to tap into reserves. The revenue numbers, the sales tax numbers will change throughout the year, and we'll get updates throughout the year on that. But so far, everything that the finance department has projected over the last several years has held fairly consistent. Maybe they underestimated, so that's why our reserves have grown the way they did. So we're in pretty good shape as a board. And looking to the future, I think we're in good shape.
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
Doesn't have to do with the budget, but you said we had like 400 tips called in this year,
Last year.
last year?
Yeah, I'll have the numbers for you at the next meeting.
What were the general, just in general, what were the general tips about? I mean,
Vaping, I would say, is the biggest tip. Kids vaping in the bathroom, in the stairwells and stuff like that, or hiding it in their cars.
oh, kids at school?
Yep.
Gee.
There are other things they call about, but that's the majority of what the tips are.
So basically smoking like they've been doing forever.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So, no, that's all I have. And what we're going to do next month is we'll get together again. We'll go through this in a shorter version, and then go ahead and pass the budget, and we'll move it to council. So we'll send out an email most probably next week, giving you a few options for dates for May, towards the middle to end of May. So we'll try to coordinate to where we can have everybody here, and we'll knock that out. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate your questions. So thank you. Chair, I think we're good. People,
Any
anything
other
like that?
business? Anything from,
No.
any other business?
No.
All righty, if
think
there
this
being no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 6:23 PM Central Standard Time. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Congratulations for joining the board.
Oh,